Liking Harry Potter is not nerdy, okay? It's honestly actually kind of weird at this point, really. I feel strange. I feel like I'm the only person in my age group that isn't still obsessed with Harry Potter. There's 30-year-olds everywhere who are like, I'm a Ravenclaw. No, you're an adult, Sarah. You're 31 years old. Your letter's not coming, all right? You gotta let it go, Sarah. I get that we loved the books when we were kids, but a book that you read when you were 12 can't still be your favorite book today, okay? It can't. Like, if you asked me what my favorite book was and I told you The Hatchet, you'd think I was an idiot. And you would be right. This dude hasn't read a book since 5th grade. No, I haven't. I have not. But Gary Paulson speaks to me. Oh, he's so good. He's so good. Have you read Brian's Winter? Oh. I might like it more than The Hatchet, actually. But also, I never even thought it was that good of a book to begin with. I can't, like, people treat it like it's a masterpiece, and I'm just... Sorry, it's not. J.K. Rowling did not write a masterpiece. She wrote Star Wars with sucky lightsabers. She did. It is a direct ripoff of Star Wars. I am positive of it. Have you ever looked at them side by side? Oh, what do we have here? It's a young, male, orphaned protagonist who, for his own safety, has been sent to live with his aunt and uncle until a mysterious bearded stranger, who was actually the one to deliver him to his aunt and uncle when he was a baby, comes into his life and starts to teach him about this ancient kind of magic. Granted, he's gonna learn a lot more about this magic from an older, wiser wizard who's high most of the time. Regardless, his uncle is totally against this magic stuff. He won't even tell him what really happened to his parents, but against his uncle's wishes, he leaves home for the very first time, makes some new friends, meets a pretty, impetuous young girl, and though there will be an odd sexual tension between the two of them throughout, he will only ever love her like a sister while she struggles with the feelings that she has for his best friend, the scruffy comic relief. He learns of the existence of this supervillain who killed his parents with his sorcerer's ways before he started calling himself Lord something or the other. But quite fortunately, it turns out that our hero is naturally good at flying and locating incredibly small targets. 2 centimeters? That's not impossible. I used to bullseye snitches on my firebolt back home. They're not much bigger than 2 centimeters.
You guys would be surprised to know, though, despite all the weird interactions I have with people who, like, are weird about my tattoos or don't know what it's like to have tattoos, the weirdest interactions, my least favorite interactions, are always with other people who are heavily tattooed. Not a fan of other heavily tattooed people, okay? Yeah, I'm calling it. It's not good. I know everything I need to know about another guy with a lot of tattoos, you know? Your parents hit you. School was hard. You like to bring a snake to the park, you know? I get it, you know? I don't want to have these weird conversations with guys. It's terrible. I'll give you an example, okay? I'm at Walmart. I'm standing in line. Everything's going fine. I'm in line a lot in my jokes, so just keep going with that. But I'm in line. I'm standing there. I look over, and I see this guy wearing a tank top, and he's bald head, completely covered in black and gray tattoos. His entire head is like covered in flames. He's got skulls and stuff. Obviously, he got all these tattoos in prison, okay? I feel some of you being awkward. He's not here. We're safe, all right? Also, I'm allowed to make the judgment call, all right? So I see him. He sees me. And we make eye contact, and it's locked in for a second. And immediately, I'm like, oh no. This guy's gonna try to talk to me, you know? Have you ever just seen someone in public who's gonna talk to you and they're just so white trash you don't have the energy to deal with them? So many crazy people. So this guy, he comes up to me, all right, this dude at Walmart covered in his tattoos, he comes up to me. His opening line to me, the first thing he says, he goes, hey man, where'd you do your time? What? I've done 0 time, everyone. I've never been to jail a day in my life, okay? But he's just making an assumption about me. He's trying to connect with me. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to connect with him. I'll meet him halfway. I'll just mess with him a little. So I was like, you know how it is, man. Did 5 years in Azkaban, no big deal. Yeah. Yep. He wanted to impress me so bad. He was like, word, all right, cool. Like, all that time in prison and you didn't read one Harry Potter book seems kind of like a waste, you know? I don't know what he's up to now, but I'm pretty sure it's not reading, so it's not good.
I'm also glad it's 2017 because 2016 marked the year that I was kicked off an amusement park ride for being too large. Yeah, it's gonna get sad, buckle up. Because they would not let me buckle up. I was in Orlando, I was at the Harry Potter Capstone Hogwarts experience, and I sat down and it wasn't gonna work out. And to be fair, they weren't mean about it. They weren't like, oh, troll in the dungeon. They were like, no, sir, this isn't gonna work. Come over here, you get to wait over here while your friends ride the ride. So there I was in the obese section. But it was Harry Potter themed, so it was like obesity and other obscurities, or something like that. There I was. And in this section, they have a person whose job is actually to talk to all the people they kick off the ride. And it makes sense. They're like, look, when you kick the fatties off the ride, you gotta talk them down to make sure they don't go around and start eating everybody. So he was talking to me, he's like, I'm sorry this ride didn't work out. How about you try the Spider-Man ride? I really like the Spider-Man ride. All I was hearing was like, the Spider-Man ride has really big seats. And it was okay, I was fine. But it made me think about Harry Potter, because we think of Harry Potter as kind of like this benevolent, turns the other cheek, good kid. But here's what he did. He built an entire wizarding theme park. And at the Capstone Harry Potter Hogwarts experience, he was like, no, make the seats so small that Dudley and his fat dad can never ride it. Never. Yeah, you better applaud. Harry Potter's a jerk. It's the next book, Harry Potter and the Theme Park Built of Spite.
I have to explain a lot of the times what is BYU and what's the difference between BYU, Idaho. Now, BYU obviously is Brigham Young University, where they are very conservative. And BYU, Idaho is Orthodox Mormonism. Yeah. BYU was famous in the 80s. BYU, Idaho has famous ideas from the 1880s. That's basically the difference. To kind of give you an idea, BYU, Idaho, I walked in, I was in a math class, and it was called math. Okay? Right? And I did better on a test than I usually did. And when I walked into the class, I got a standing ovation, and the teacher was like, "Yay, you did it!" It's a very supportive place. It's great. I don't know, it was fun, it was magical. It's Hogwarts for Mormons, is what it is. It's a very delightful place.
Yeah, whispering, that's one way you know white people are about to be racist. A lot of clues. I know all of them. One of my favorites is when someone is talking to you and then they stop and do this thing. The over-the-shoulder minority check. Some of you are doing it right now, just in case what I'm about to say is racist. You can't help it either. It's a white person reflex. They could test it at the doctor with the other reflexes. Like they do the hammer on the knee. The doctor says a slur. You're like, huh? The doctor's like, you're fine. I mean, you're racist, but your neck is okay. My personal favorite way of telling someone is about to be racist is when they go, look, I don't mean to be racist. Here we go. That's like when someone goes, needless to say, but then they say the thing that they just said didn't need to be said. If you say needless to say, it should be followed by silence. And I feel the same rule should apply to I don't mean to be racist. Now, with all that being said, I don't mean to be racist, but I do have a story. I was playing catchphrase with some friends. And if you don't know, catchphrase is this game with an electronic buzzer, and it's got a word on it, and you gotta get the people on your team to guess the word without saying it. I'm very good at this game because I have older parents. And catchphrase is just like when your older parent is talking to you, and then they forget what they're about to say, and now you have to guess based on their very vague clues. I'm super good at this game. I play it all the time. But I'm playing with like my sheltered Utah friends, so the only things they know about in life are like Star Wars, Harry Potter, and Jesus. And they think at least 2 of those things are real. So they shouldn't be playing. You need like actual world knowledge to play catchphrase. But the girl next to me gets the buzzer, and I kind of peek over because she's not on my team. And I see that the word she has to get everyone to guess is Anne Frank. And I see on her face that she has no idea who that is. And what she says to get everyone to guess Anne Frank is, I think she was black? Even with all my old parent experience, I was not expecting that. And I laughed way too much. Mostly because everyone else kept guessing Oprah over and over again. Because that's the only black lady that Utah people know about. So when the buzzer sounded, she was like, who is Anne Frank? And I'd been laughing so much that everyone just looked at me to explain. And I'm like, she was a girl that wrote a diary during the Holocaust. I'm very sorry for laughing. Maybe you got her confused with Rosa Parks? And she's like, who's Rosa Parks? And I'm like, I think she was Jewish? I don't know. Anyway, I tell that story to my little brother and we laugh about it a lot. And then a few weeks later, I'm visiting my parents' house, and my little brother is there playing video games with a friend. And he tells his friend a Helen Keller joke. He's going through that phase in life, you know? And his friend is like, who's Helen Keller? And my little brother looks at me and winks and goes, I think she was black. And I was like, well, to Helen Keller, everyone is black. Because I'm going through that phase in life too. Thank you all very